Hey, how's it going? Tonight I'm going to show you how to make a book without any glue or needle and thread or tape. And then I'm going to show you how I put my first journal together. Totally the same technique. I got this technique, by the way. I didn't come up with this on my own. I wish I had, because it's awesome. And I teach this technique to my students when we do activities that require, cutting out of magazines and gluing them down and stuff like that. So, for certain skills, okay, I do need a pair of scissors. So, a pair of scissors, take this pair of scissors right here. Okay, so the first thing you do, and I'll put a link to where I got this from. I'm going to use these 3 sheets of paper. You can use any amount of paper that you want, provided, it doesn't tear. This is cardstock. It's 65-pound cardstock. And I usually use, actually this is really small for teaching my students, but I usually use like 14 by 17 or 11 by 14 or something like that type of paper in the classroom. But I got this from a YouTube channel called Fold Something, and I don't think they do videos anymore, but I'll put the link to that video in the description below my video. So the first thing you do is you want to either measure halfway down the page in the middle here, or I always like to fold it. I can fold it, and it's roughly the same. Fold it right in half. I'm not going to do a bone folding technique or anything. I'm not going to crease it like that. And then open it up again. Oh, I did that one wrong. Really? I can't believe I did that. Anyway, it can still be. So then, after you have it folded in half like this, alright, it's late. Then just kind of fold it in half lengthwise like this, and pinch it right there, right? But don't crease it all the way up and all the way down. Just pinch it right there, and then some people like to draw a line as how far they want to go, we're just going to cut a little slit from about here to about here, about an inch or so. So I fold it in half anyway. It's going to be a book anyway like this, and then fold it in half lengthwise like this, and then pinch it right here. Make sure that these are lined up. They're roughly about the same. It's okay if it's a little bit, see, it is a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be either. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right down the middle to about right there. And when I open it up, it's going to have like a little crease there, right? Okay. So if you, usually I don't cut a straight line, but it's still going to work. So it's, if you want if you're going with the straight line, then take a ruler and make sure you draw a straight line right through the center there. Okay, these 2 sheets I'm going to use. Now with these 2 sheets, I'm going to fold these 2 in half as well. So let me put that there. This way. Alright, I'm going to crease those. And now with these 2 sheets, I'm going to only cut about an inch or so, top to here, not top to bottom, just top to about here. Just a little slit up here, and a little slit here, about an inch or so. You can measure it if you want to. It's not necessary for me, but I just want to cut like that. I may have cut more than I needed to, but like that. So you have that and that. And then lengthwise, just kind of fold it over just like that. And tilt this, push this up, and slide these in. And then what you're going to do is take those little slits and slide them in there, and then bend this down nice and slow. And there you have a book. Now this has gold on it, but gold one has yellow paint. I was working on a project today where I needed that color. So now you have a book, and if you want to, you can slip in other pieces of paper. So you can slip them in here if you want to. You can slip them in there. You can slip them in, well, that would be kind of hard, but you could probably still do it. This might tear it. So if you think it's going to tear, you could open it up this way, and you could just kind of put a little tape here if you want to kind of secure these. But using cardstock, it's a little bit sturdier, you know, so it's just a rough type of book. So it's good for, you can do, like, if you want to start doing journals or something, art journals, you can start by doing this type of book where you don't have to do any kind of sewing. There is another way to do it without sewing, and that's on Shamee Dixon was showing how to do that, and that involves doing like a 3-hole punch type of thing. Punch a hole, punch a hole, punch a hole, and then taking like little ribbons and putting all your papers together that way. So you can do it that way as well. But this is pretty good, and it works perfectly for the activities I do in my classroom. So I was thinking, I don't know, a couple days ago. I was thinking a few days ago. From time to time? No, I'm always thinking. Always. I thought, what I want to do is I want to take, let's see if I have it. I want to take this type of envelope. See, I opened it up. This is an envelope, you know, from Amazon. You can tell a little arrow thingy. And I opened it up, and I have several of these now. And what I did, my idea was, I was thinking of this book right here, making this book, and I thought, hey, I can do that, make my first journal, and I can use this as the outer covers. And when I put, what I did was I used 9x12 watercolor paper and mixed media paper, I think, and that cardstock, this cardstock paper. And then when I put it together, I ended up with this as the back cover, and the front cover was a piece of watercolor paper. I actually cut it down, and I was like, oh man, I didn't think that one through at all. So I thought, how can I make it so that I have this side as my front cover, or this side is my front cover, right, and this side is my back cover. How can I do that? So a little more thinking involved, and what I did was, let me put this over here. I took 2 of those envelopes and I cut them down. This is the back page, right? And I got the bubble. I wanted the bubble wrap in there. I love that bubble wrap. It's very soothing. And, right, and the front has a cover as well. And I put tape here, just kind of decorating and whatnot. And so I had to do 2 of these to make, I put tape in here too, to make so that I could have this as a front cover and this as a back cover. So I'm going to leave all this my little tag, and it doesn't have my address on it, I don't think. Oh, maybe it does. No. Well, and then do that, and then I added watercolor paper. Here's a sheet of watercolor paper, and that watercolor paper is on this side here. right? And I added cardstock. This is cardstock here, and this is also watercolor paper, cardstock. Oh, I don't have mixed media in here yet, but I will add it. Cardstock, watercolor paper, cardstock, watercolor paper. So what I did was, with the watercolor paper, I turned one so that the watercolor paper is up like this, and then so that the other side of the watercolor paper, which is not the toothy one, the toothy side is the front side. So this is the smoother side, and this is the watercolor side. I think you can see, this is Artessa's, I think you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see that. It has a little more tooth on the watercolor side, and it's smoother on the back. So I have smooth watercolor side, and then some cardstock, and then watercolor side, I believe, and smooth, and then cardstock. Cardstock is smooth on both sides, and then the envelope that makes the front. This is the envelope that forms this front. And this is the envelope that forms the back. So I had to switch it up. And I thought, I really like this, you know, because I've been watching a lot of art journal videos. And people do their journals, they make their journals any old way they please. So this is probably a junk journal because I'm using throwaway material. Normally people throw this stuff away. And I'm also using paper that I haven't yet touched up or painted or anything. So junk and good combined. And I added the duct tape here because, especially here, is I wanted to make this a little more secure, and I wanted to make this part a little more secure here, because this is just regular paper. You know, what's this part here is regular paper, and the bubble wrap is glued to that. So I secured it on here, and I put a strip here. Before I put this one in, I put a piece of duct tape down right here, and then shoved it all together. So that's it. So I can also do it this way, but I kind of like this. Then things I'm thinking about adding, this to this book, and it's actually perfect, the perfect size, and I would probably have to trim it back here a little bit because it's a little over. But this would have the same concept where I would cut it a little bit here and a little bit here in the middle. It's already creased for me. This is Relish. January, February 2018. Is that like Parade? No, it's a tiny magazine. Oh, it's got recipes and stuff. So, I could do that. So, let's see if I can do it. I'm gonna unfold that, make that crease a little less visible, and then hope I can see the okay. Probably don't even need to go down that far. Roughly about an inch. Okay, so I'm going to, and maybe right now I should probably cut this back before I shove it in here. So I'm going to not going to worry if it's straight or not. So fold it lengthwise. Where do I want to put it? Where? Decisions, decisions. Oh, sorry for waving that in your face. So I want to put it there. Maybe there. Let's see. There. How about there? This is pretty thin. I can slide it through. I'm thinking the only problem I'm going to have with it is it's not going to bend very easily. So I'm going to do it this way. When I provide that video to my students, I link it, I add the link, but I kind of, I shorten the length of the video for them, and then just provided that straight away as a video to them in the online portal that they have. So now we have a little insert here, and I can decorate this. The sky's the limit. Or take pictures of those recipes before I cover them up. I don't know. We'll see what I do. It's kind of, so I can add more if I want to. I do want to add, I would like to add at least one piece of mixed media paper that I recently got. So, this is definitely a work in progress, and I have a feeling that it's going to take me a long time to just decorate it. So I'll just be doing like a page at a time, or decorate the page and show you what I've done or something. But this is it, my first ever art journal. Thank you to all the art journalers on YouTube who have finally convinced me, even if they weren't trying, to make a video. Or not make a video, to make an art journal. I can use these for bookmarkers. Or I can use these for magazine tubes. Oh. Lots to do. Or I can paste them into my journal after I make all kinds of cool designs on them. Yeah. So there you have it. It's my Amazon art journal. Thanks, Amazon. And I might make another one. Maybe I'll try and make another one on video for you with the no-sew booklet sort of thing. This would be a little bit too small. I do have much larger paper that I might try out and see if I can do it like that. But it, you can, if you're making just a regular booklet, like these are good also for taking notes, like for school or something. Obviously not these that are decorated. Maybe I'll throw this in my journal. But they work, and you can make them as pocket sketchbooks. I do have a few students from time to time who love to draw, so this would really be a good thing for them. They could just like make a whole bunch of them, put them in their backpacks, you know, take them out, hopefully not during my class, and draw. And good for just plain old notes, you know, because these can be, I could add index cards to these, lined index cards or whatever, and they would make good notes. I let my students use their notes when they take their tests. Well, almost all their tests, not the final. And not the big test that they have to take. Okay. The big test. The TSIA. Okay. I randomized this list recently. All I did was I rubbed the thing on my shoulder, and it came up like that. I was like, hey. Yeah, shaking it, and it'll randomize. We're gonna randomize. Alright. Now, who knows where it's gonna end? What kind of day do you want to have? Have a wonderful day. Bye.